Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a hopefully relaxed episode of Ted's Booze Cellar here on Sunday the 14th of June 2020. Now, the reason why I probably look a bit dishevelled and baggy-eyed is because my body just wasn't working properly last night and I only got about 4 hours of sleep, so hence the reason why I look like, I basically just woke up, essentially. I have drunk quite a lot of coffee and tea today, so hopefully I'll get through this just fine. Now, I just put my dinner in the oven, so I thought now is about a good time as any to review today's drink of choice. And today we're taking a look at Cubanisto, rum-flavoured beer. Now, what I'm hoping this will be like is this will be sort of like a... just a slightly more of a different take on like the kind of concept that we saw with Desperados, where it's like beer, you know, like a traditional sort of Central American cerveza sort of lager that's mixed with like tequila and lime juice. So I'm hoping that's what this is going to be along the rough lines of. It doesn't say a huge amount about it on the bottle that I can realistically read or translate, obviously, considering it is what I'm pretty sure it is Mexican, and hence the reason why a lot of the language on the back is in Spanish. So all I can tell is that it is 5.8% alcohol volume, so kind of what you'd expect for a drink that's basically beer mixed with a spirit. So yeah, that kind of makes sense actually. Says new 30% less calories, so hopefully that'll be good, because I'm about to start week 4 of the Couch to 5k running program off of the NHS website this coming week, so that's that will obviously come up good for me if it's got 30% less calories in it. Little less timber on the lumber, if you catch my drift. I quite like the bottle. It kind of does remind me a little bit of Desperados bottle, but I like this one more just because the iconography of the decorated skull mask of the dead is quite striking. Simple, clean bottle. Yeah, nice. Good 8.5 out of 10 for the bottle. I like it. And hopefully the smell will be just as good, if not better. I don't remember what Desperado smelled like. It did have that sort of like lemony, sort of limey, citrusy tint to it, and with like a lagery, strong lagery smell, so I'm hoping this will be somewhat similar. So let's give it a whiff and give ourselves hopefully good first impression. Actually kind of smells weirdly a bit like a cross between like a Central American like cerveza lager and weirdly enough like a British dry cider. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's the kind of weird tones I get in this smell here. It kind of has that crisp cerveza lager freshness mixed in with like a little bit of rummy sort of spice and richness, and then this weird sort of undertone in the smell of British like West Country cider with its like sharpish like acidity. Like, so it's a weird mix of smells in there, so I'm not really sure what to expect, quite honestly. It's not a terrible smell though, so like 6.5 out of 10. It's not. It doesn't smell great, but it doesn't. It definitely doesn't smell bad at all. So no. But yeah, give ourselves a quick palate cleanser of water before we chug this down. Hopefully we can chug it down, because I'm hoping it's quite nice. Alright, and let's try this, which I got for, pretty sure this was £2.59 from the Wine Barrel on Western Road in Hove. So that's where I got this from. So, bottoms up. I don't know. I think I do probably prefer this a little bit more than Desperados, just because the flavour of this is slightly more subtle. Desperados' flavour kind of just jumps out at you and hits you right in the face, and there's nothing necessarily inherently wrong with that if the drink is brewed properly and nicely enough. And it is, in Desperados is a good drink, but this, it is just like slightly more smoother. It's a much more smoother texture, much smoother flavour, The flavour throughout is a lot more consistent. There is that sort of slight citrusy tint here, but it's not as overpowering as it is in the different varieties of Desperados, so that's a definite plus. There's not much rum flavour to it. That you can tell it's there. There is a bit of an undercurrent of it for the first half of the taste as it's going through your mouth, and then there's a tiny little sort of rummy sort of, you know, fizzle as it, you know, enters your gullet, you know, at the finish. So, you know, there is a bit of like a rum taste there. I just wish it was probably slightly more prominent. But then again, I guess rum is kind of one of those flavours where if you add too much of it, it can overpower a lot of the other flavours in a drink or piece of food. So I don't know. I kind of wish there was slightly more of a rum flavour in this, but at the same time, I can understand why there isn't. It's generally it is like a very well balanced beer. As far as concept and sort of like, you know, sort of gimmicky beers go, this is actually very well made. It's very smooth, goes down a treat. It's not going to sort of like lacquer the skin off your mouth. It's reasonably smooth. Yeah, no, pretty well priced for $2.59, I must say. And especially as well for like 5.8%. So yeah, it could sort of knock your socks off if you drink enough bottles of this, but I mean, it tastes nice, so that won't really matter too much once you're rolling around on the floor speaking Spanish and singing the Mexican national anthem. So I don't know. Would I say this is better than Desperados? Yes. I think I gave... What did I give Desperados? I think I gave it like an 8... no, sorry. 7.5 out of 10, didn't I? That was the bottled version. And for this... I'll give it like an 8. I have had better beers, but... no, an 8.25. It just does slightly miss out on being an elite level beer. But... if I was to get, you know, particularly interesting, like, concept-y sort of like beer to take with me to a house party, I probably would go for something like this. It's refreshing, it's light, it's crisp, it's got a bit of extra flavour to it on top of that classic sort of Central American cerveza lager taste. And it's just a generally refreshing, nice, juicy sort of beer. It's, yeah, I would recommend it generally for most, if not all, alcohol and beer drinkers, and I would recommend it for most circumstances as well. I think it could probably go quite well with a meal, as well as also taking a few bottles of this to a house party. So yeah, well recommended. 8.25 out of 10 for the drink overall. I'd say £2.59 is a very, very solid price for a bottle like this, and yeah, would recommend. Definitely a buy. I'm going to probably buy a few of these for myself in the future because I actually really like this. So, if you guys did like this video, leave a like, share and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future episodes of Ted's Booze Cellar, leave them in the comment section below. And if you want to check out any of my other online activities, shenanigans and whatnots, I'll leave the links to my social medias and other YouTube channels in the video description below. So check those out if you're interested. And yes, until next time. Have fun, stay safe with whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, drink responsibly, know your limits, wash your hands, take care of your family, and I'll see you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar. Bye-bye for now.